What was it that stood out about Evergrande that you guys needed to look into it like this?
Well, I mean, this was buried in the 2021 annual report that Evergrande revealed that it had changed its accounting policy in relation to the way it booked the revenue on property sales. In effect, it had been far too aggressive in the past. So it reversed 660 billion RMB of previously booked revenue. I mean, that's more than a year's sales. At the same time, it also reversed 100 billion RMB of profits, which is close to 40% of all the profits they've ever booked, going back to sort of 2004. So these are huge numbers. I mean, it seems to have previously been far too aggressive. So they added new conditions in 2021, which basically said you can only book revenue if you've completed the property, they have completion certificates, or they've actually delivered the properties to the owners. Now, the implication of that is that previously they were booking it before they'd completed the properties and before they'd passed them on to owners, which is extremely aggressive. Now, we've reached out to Evergrande, we sent them a list of questions, and they didn't get back to us on this. But this is all set out in their annual report, so it's not our kind of, in a sense, it's not our opinion. It's set out there in black and white. The reason given for the change was liquidity difficulties, which is kind of very concerning. And it's really, you know, I think this is something that's just gone unnoticed because people are sort of focused on other issues.
They've gone unnoticed. We've been, of course, caught up with the debt defaults and all of that. So who is an investor, the bondholders, what are they meant to do now?
Well, I think it's very difficult. I mean, you know, since 2021, they've booked nearly 1 trillion RMB of losses. In total, and that includes 100 that was reversed as part of this revenue recognition. And I think, you know, that's obviously a huge number, but it's also interesting. It's over 40% of the assets at the end of 2020. So it's got a lot of very bad assets on its balance sheet. And these have built up over a number of years. This is not something that's new. This is not something, I think, that can be attributed just to the sort of downturn and COVID that's happened at that time. This has been a problem that's been building for a while. I mean, you know, they've got cumulative losses of over 600 billion as well. So that's completely wiped out all the profits they've ever made, almost 4 times over. And you know, even back in kind of 2016, we wrote in our report then that we thought they would have to take 150 billion RMB of write-downs on some of the assets. So it's sort of primarily development properties is the main thing that's been written down. So this really isn't a new issue. I mean, that was obviously 7 years ago, and obviously the problems have got far bigger since then.